Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today let's talk about async and await. Okay, what is it and what is it actually used for? Right. So let me try and use a example that we can all relate to, because I know once in a while we've all went to school, right? We've all attended school, right? So I'm going to try and use an example using the school theory. So let's imagine that I have a friend, right? I have a friend and I'm trying to ask this friend for some answers from the homework, okay? Let's just say I have a friend, I'm trying to ask the friend for some homework answers, right? And I don't want my phone to freeze while I'm waiting for my friend to send me these answers, right? So I want my phone to wait, but wait nicely until my friend actually sends me these answers, okay? So that is the basics of async and await, right? So this is what it actually helps the computers to do. So it will wait for something like information, like data, okay, without freezing everything. So this is the basics of async and await. So I want us to like implement this literally on the on our HTML. So we're gonna be using JavaScript, okay. Right, so what we can do is let's start to code. Let's have an H1 right here, see, saying that we are waiting for homework, right? Yeah. Dot. Okay, so we're waiting for homework. Okay, so this is just the normal H1. Nothing crazy, right? And what we can also add, we can add a button. So let's add a button, and this button will prompt us to ask this friend. Okay, so this button will prompt us to ask this friend for some answers. Okay, and let's have a place where we can display our output. So this will display our output, but we will leave it empty so that I was just typing so you can see that it's going to display here. Okay, our answers will display there, but we will let's use an ID. Let's call this ID output. So this is where we're going to get our output. Right, so since we have that, I think that will be all for our HTML. So let's jump straight into our JavaScript. So let's start off with the function that will simulate our friend. Okay, our friend who's going to be sending the homework. Okay, so we will give this friend 2 seconds to send us this homework. So we'll have a function, and let's call it ask friend for homework, right? Okay, this is perfect. So we're going to return something, right? We're going to return a new promise. So we are returning a new promise, and we have a resolve parameter and we have a rejected parameter. Okay, so this is an arrow function that will do something, right? So remember we said we're going to wait for 2 seconds for our friend to possibly send us this homework, right? So let's have a set time. Set timeout will allow us to work within a certain time frame, right? So set timeout, and let's say maybe we get a resolve comeback okay, which is a success message, sort of, right? And we'll say, okay, so here, so here's the homework. Okay, so they sent you the homework, right? So here's the homework you asked for. Okay, so your friend will send you this and say, okay, here is the homework that you've asked for. Basically, this is what this does. Okay, and then what happens if this friend doesn't send the homework? Then we will get rejected. So it's either we get resolved or we get the rejected message. Okay, so the message will say, okay, sorry, I didn't finish it. Right? So your friend will come back to you and say, okay, look, listen, I didn't finish this homework, right? But unfortunately, there can only be one reply at a time. So let's just comment this one out for now, and we will see when we test this out later, right? So like I said, this will be 2 seconds. So 2000 is the same as 2 seconds. Okay, so this will have a 2-second delay. All right, so this is perfect. So since we now have the message from our friend, we should also have our very own script, or our own function that will wait for this friend's reply, right? So we can have an async. This is what we use. We first have to say async, and then we can say function, right? So this one will be fetching our homework. Fetching homework. Okay, so this function works specifically just to fetch this homework. So we'll have in the output, okay? So this one will fetch whatever the results are, and it will display it to the output, okay, in other words. So since it's an HTML, we're going to get the element by the ID. We saved the ID as output. Remember? Output. Just like this. It's perfect. Right, so what are we doing with this output? We're going to get the output, and we're going to implement some text content into it, and we're going to add that we are asking our friend just wait for a bit, okay? Just wait while we're still asking this friend of yours for their feedback, okay? This is what essentially means, okay? So let's now do some try catch while we implement this, okay? While we wait for this response from our friend, okay? So let's get the const. So we are getting the homework, and we are waiting for our ask friend for homework function. Okay, so we are waiting here. Essentially, this just means that we are waiting here. Okay, perfect. So what happens is if we get our output, then we should change the content and set it to here is your homework. Okay. Yes, I think that's perfect. And let's now catch. So what is catch? Catch is what we get if we run into an error. Okay, this is what we're going to get an output of. Okay, so let's change the text content, and just say error. let's just say no homework. Let's just say no homework and error, essentially, right? And I believe this should work when we try it out. Let's see what happens when we ask our friend for our homework. Our friend is not responding because our button was not assigned yet. Okay, so what happens when you click on the button? So on click, we want something to happen, right? So on click, we want to fetch this homework. So we want to fetch the homework button. Okay, on click. When we click this, we want it to fetch this function right here. All right, that's what we want to do. And then now when we ask the friend, we are waiting for our friend, and then here is our homework, right? Right, so let's ask our friend again. We're asking our friend, please wait, and here is our homework. But now let's see if there's an error, what happens then. Okay, let's ask our friend. We're asking our friend, please wait, and nope, sorry, it didn't finish it, so there's no homework. Right, so this is the basics of async and await in JavaScript. Hope this made sense, and I'll catch you again in the next one.